Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. So I will begin with the lecture session for the topic of summary writing. This is a topic that is a continuation from the previous topic, which was paraphrasing skills. Okay, so as previously mentioned, for a paraphrasing skill, a sentence is revised or rewrite, and we change the form of a sentence depending on the ways that we wanted the sentence to look like in the end. So sometimes we wanted to change from the synonym words, or we wanted to combine the sentence, or we wanted to change the sentence from the noun to its verb using gerunds, followed by changing of the word order, and then convert from a sentence that is in active voice into passive voice and vice versa, as well as changing from adjective into adverbs. So those are the paraphrasing skills that we have covered before. And this time around, we are moving on to the summary writing. And what makes summary writing quite relevant to the topic of paraphrasing is that for a summary, it also meant that you will be doing a rewrite of sentences. Okay. However, the main difference between paraphrasing and also summary writing is that for paraphrasing, we do not care, or the matter of number of words is not a concern. So that means when we paraphrase, it's okay if the sentence becomes longer, or if the sentence becomes shorter. Okay, it does not matter for paraphrasing. However, it is a different case for summary writing, because for the goal of writing, it is meant to make a longer piece of writing condense. So the main purpose is to reduce, 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 reduce. Okay, about 1/3 or just a quarter of the main text. We see summary in many variation, while a summary of a longer piece of writing is called a synopsis. Okay, so if you wanted to maybe purchase a novel and you would like to know what it is about, or at least the genre, then you read the synopsis. While for a summary, it is a shortened or condensed version of a write-up, which is pages of essays, articles, and etc. And we rewrite it in our own words of something that we have read based on the original text. And for summary, you can use any of the paraphrasing skills as you prefer, as long as the article is shortened, So it's about reducing and reducing and reducing and reducing. So summary takes a whole lot of process in terms of the getting of the ideas. Okay, or we called it like main points or ideas, and we need to combine all of the ideas together into a condensed version. So everything that includes words like, for example, you can cross them out immediately, because examples are not a necessity in a summary. So we only put the main point without any minor examples, or the examples that does not carry any importance to the summary itself. Okay, or you can use a rewording. So maybe instead of 2 words, you can use 1 word, use the shortened form. Or if it is like a cluster of things, then you can say 1 word that concisely summarize the cluster of things. Okay, and then followed by repetitions. It's just write once. So if you felt that the sentence is repeated, also cross it out. Any kind of explanation, cross it out. And other details that is included in the sentence, cross it out. We only get the ideas. And when you get the main point, we also call it like the controlling ideas, and only some of the supporting details. If let's say for one idea, there's 3 to 4 supporting details, only take one. So there's the idea and also one supporting details. And sometimes just the idea, especially if it is a very long article or it is quite a long piece of writing. So from that, we follow through the processes. As we did for paraphrasing, it begins with reading. So we read, we understand, and then we rewrite. But for the summary, it's reading. And then the second time, you read again, but with a highlighter pen or something for you to highlight on the articles, the articles, and then highlight the main points that you felt that, oh, this is important. So you find the thesis statement, you find the main ideas, you find the supporting details, okay, and from then, after you've highlighted those words, you wanted to combine them. Okay, so back to the processes. Number one, to read and to understand the text. And we can use inflection or making inference. If let's say we don't know the meaning of some words in the article, if a dictionary is available, you can look up the meaning. But if it is not available, then you can try to guess what is probably the meaning. And sometimes we don't have to understand every single word that is written, but from the rest of the passage, we manage to know what is actually the text is all about. Okay, so somehow or other, okay, you get the gist of the article itself. So we try to look at the particular section or passages in the text in order to make clear that you've got all the main ideas. Sometimes in the introduction paragraph, there's not much or there's barely any ideas except for the thesis statement. And you can read through from the upcoming paragraphs. Very rarely there is a point in a conclusion. Okay, so for the writing part where you compose a summary, there's always a few versions of written article, just like when you do your project assignments, you have version 1, version 2, version 3. So history 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you make changes every single time. So the first things that you do after you write it during the first round to get a gist of what the passage is all about. Okay, and then the next time is you underline or you highlight all the important words or sentences. And following that, it's to write down all. The best way to do is by handwriting because you experience writing the word. Okay, very often we practice spelling also by writing down. Okay, do not underestimate the power of physical memory. Okay, so when you write it down, you get used to writing and you are used to writing the words. Okay, so write down all of the important points separate from the original text. You can keep the original text aside, but only refer if you want to make sure that the content carries the same meaning, or you have not cut short the article too short. Correct. You have some missing important components or missing ideas, so you can read again and then find out more. Then you revise your summary composition first. Okay, so paraphrase the sentence without changing the meaning. Either the very basic ways to do this is by reading, getting the point, and then leave the point from the original text without making any changes at all. That is the most basic. If I were to go by MUET standard, that would be band 1, reading, highlighting, and then take out the sentence and just combine the sentence without any paraphrasing. That would be band 1, level 1. Okay, and followed by that, we can also, when we combine, use the transition signal. Okay, so like next, very commonly used would be first, second, third. Okay, so once you have completed the writing of the summary, you try to use all the paraphrasing skills just now, you can do the freestyle paraphrasing, you can do synonym, you can do sentence combining, you can do changing word order, you can do active to passive, but I would advise stick to active voice because passive voice is usually a bit longer because you have to use a multiple verb where for a verb participle, you have to use the participle form and also the standard verb. Okay, so naturally, passive sentence is longer. Okay, but then again, depends on the way that you're writing. If the subject of the sentence is already mentioned in the previous sentence, in the current sentence, you can just cross out the subject of the sentence. Then passive sentence becomes shorter. So it's really depends on the way a summary is written. Get used to writing and also consider what's your favorite ways to paraphrase. How do you like to paraphrase the most? Okay, so use them and then improve one by one. You don't have to be good at everything in one shot. It's a process. So if you have to start small, then start small and then proceed to the next level, to the next level, and to the next level. And generally, once you have made a complete composition, so you've had your first draft, you've paraphrased the sentence, and then you rewrite the summary. So you have the summary. Word limit, the most is 130 words. And very often for a summary, it is between 100 to 120 only. Okay, if it is less than 100, then definitely you are missing out on something. If it's less than 100 words, definitely missing out on something. So go back to the original article, okay, the long ones, and then read again. Check line by line which part that you need to add on. There has got to be something that has been missed during the first round of reading. So read it again and then add for the points. And if let's say your word exceeded 120, it's already 130 or 135. So reduce the sentence. Okay, combine more sentence, shorten it, and to the point that you have managed to reach within the word limit that is given. Okay, so that is all about it. So what's mentioned here is that you're up. So this means I would like for you to do a practice for summary. And for this, I would prefer if everyone could actually use the different paraphrasing skills. Okay, so I will provide with you the article and then maybe for each of the sentence, after you manage to find the main points, you paraphrase it. So maybe the first one you use synonym, the second one you use sentence combining, the third one you use changing the word order, the fourth one you do it differently. Okay, so get used to it. Or if you want to do like a combination of multiple styles of paraphrasing in your summary, I'd also be happy to look at it. Okay, so that is all for the lecture session for the topic of a summary. We'll proceed to Google Classroom for our classroom activities. Thank you for your attention.